WFM 91.7
on Women Radio.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for staying with us right here on Women Radio WFM 91.7. And of course, for always staying tuned right here. My name is Rose Yusuf Kaiser. You are welcome to The Big Question, where we get to discuss and provide solutions to issues affecting us as a nation and as citizens. All right, this is 7 minutes past 12 right here on The Big Question. All right, today on The Big Question, we'll be looking at prevailing culture of abuse amongst women and girls in Nigeria. All right, to be a part of The Big Question, you can use the number 07000-917-917. Call us on that number, 07000-917-917. And of course, you can send in a text or a WhatsApp message to 070-317-56537. All right, that is a number to get in touch with us this afternoon. And then you can also go ahead and make your contributions to our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at WFM 917. All right, you can also log on to our website, www.wfm917.com, to listen live from any parts of the world. All right, so like I said earlier, on the program today, we'll be looking at prevailing culture of abuse amongst women and girls in Nigeria. Now, abuse against women and girls is one of the most widespread, persistent, and devastating human rights violations in the world. Now, 1 in 3 women experience physical, sexual, intimate partner violence, and victims of trafficking also. We, are all subject to violent social norms. Now, the incidence of gender-based violence is growing astronomically, from forced to early marriages to sexual harassment to physical violence, harmful traditional practices, emotional, psychological violence, socioeconomic violence, violence against non-combatant women in, conflict situation. Unfortunately, 1 in 3 Nigerian women have experienced physical violence by age 15, according to the recent data. Now, today we're looking at all of this, and we're doing this together with Ibukun Adeshida. She is a gender advocate and a writer also. So good afternoon, Ibukun. Thank you for joining us on The Big Question.
Good afternoon, Rose. Thank you for having me. My utter pleasure.
All right.
Good afternoon, my listener.
I hope that your day has been going on well.
Yes.
Okay.
It's been smooth.
All right. So thank God for it. So let's head on straight to the discussion today. Now, abuse comes in different forms. There are abuse, like I was mentioning earlier, different forms of abuse: that physical, sexual. There is, psychological. There's emotional. In fact, it comes in different forms. But as a gender advocate, if you were to describe what abuse means, especially on women and girls, how would you describe that?
Well, abuse comes in various forms, but basically revolves around harassment, violence, inhumane treatment on women.
Yeah.
And it shows even in day-to-day interactions, not just from partners, like intimate partners and all. We even have women suffering violence from other women.
Yeah.
So it's any form of treatment that is not humane.
Okay.
It could be verbal abuse, something as should I say overlookable? You know what I mean? As verbal abuse, even before you are hitting the person, anything that makes people or women shrink, is abuse, and it shows more in other forms these days.
Okay.
Maybe because owing to technology, owing to interactions that are, interaction is very cheap these days.
True. There's
a lot of violence, even via social media. You have people saying all sorts of things about women, even when they don't have full details, even when you've never met, because you can just have internet on your phone, and then your keypad is in your hand, and you are saying all these are forms of abuse. And just to throw in the balance, men are all subject to abuse. abuse. Men also suffer abuse, even from women.
Okay.
Sometimes physical abuse. Just to throw in the balance. I know that's not the catch this morning, but I just had to keep that in.
Of course. Okay. All right, Ibukun, thank you very much. I like the fact that you mentioned, other forms of abuse that I didn't even mention. Because we're looking at social media, we're looking at, verbal abuse, even the ones that...
Social media even comes commonplace. I think social media is even rising more than physical abuse.
Yeah.
In time, I think the statistics will show that, we have more abuse via social media.
Okay. All right. So, still talking about social media, though. Of recent, this has been trending. We had one of contestants of a reality show who actually came out to say that, he hopes to have boys that will actually grow up and, do all sorts to women. Not all sorts, to actually have them, go ahead and sleep with women as much as they want, and all of that. But he was just going along that line. And that actually... triggered a lot of reactions from people. And I must tell you, because I think that's one of the reasons why we had to bring this up today to talk about it. Now, what's your take on all of this? Because this has been a trending issue and a lot of people had things to say. It's just only wise that we try to put things right and we try to do things the right way. Even when, maybe to an extent, some people will say, oh no, I didn't say it well, because yesterday I also saw a video of the same person saying that he didn't mean it that way, it just came out wrong, and all of that. But it has been said already. And at the end of it, that actually tells the kind of person you are, and that tells how much you value the opposite, sex, the opposite gender. So what's your take on all of this? Because at the end of the day, it still comes down to abuse. Okay,
I'm not particularly an ardent follower of the show you're referring to. But via social media, I saw snippets of that conversation, and I didn't listen or I didn't hear it firsthand. So I don't know what conversation he was having, and I don't want to take him out of context. Even before you hit it, that come out to say, oh, it came off wrong. He could have said what he said within the context of the particular conversation he was having. Even though it doesn't come off right, however you want to see, but let me put in some slack and give him, I don't know what prompted that. You see, the thing that leads to, or the things that lead to gender violence are on the person that gives it off, not on the receiver.
Sure.
People have different ideologies. Some people say, she was assaulted, or this was done because she was dressed and all. And I think that is not a line of thought that I am agreeable to. I think verbal abuse is a problem, gender is a problem that is on who dishes it off. You get?
Yeah.
And this is where education, reorientation comes into play. Yes, they had something on my post, they have to do with government, but it still falls that he rises and falls on information. We're in a society. We have men, we have women, we are in a heterogeneous society, and we have a machinery by which, we should be regulated, behavioral and all of that. It's such a pity, such a slum, that I don't even know if we have a function, or if we even have a reorientation or orientation agency. Even if we do, I doubt that it's functional. Do you understand? From the home front, even if there are lapses, we have institutions, we have school. I see children behave these days, and I wonder, what do they teach them in primary school?
True.
Growing up in primary schools, there were basic things that you couldn't move away from. I know that I was taught when I was not even up to 10 that you don't throw banana peels on tar. It can cause a fatal accident. You can't catch me throw paper. These are things that have been instilled. The Bible says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he's old, he won't depart from it. I know that this is directed, and people say, oh, train up a child is the onus of the parents. Not exactly. It takes an entire village to raise a child. We are products of, that's why you see some people, no matter what is fad, no matter what is going on, they stick with, or you see most people, we stick with what it is that we've been taught, what is in us.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of things cannot erode that, is what you're used to. So anybody can afford to have whatever ideology he has. But if we have a machinery that implements, what's the word now? What's the word to use? Circumstances, or I'm trying to get the word. Like when you do something, reinforcement is the synonym of the word I'm trying to get. When you do something and you know that it is punishable and that you're going to be punished for it, a society that is lawless will really not try, will not go forward. You know, people will just come out and do what they think is on them, is appropriate to do. You can have your reservations, you can have whatever convictions. The guy on the show can think that, oh, he wants to do that, he wants to expose his sons to that kind of thing. But when he knows that no matter what name he bears, he's not above the laws of the land that stand and bind. I don't think he would have said that sort of thing. He would have thought again, except maybe he was under the influence of something.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ibukun. This is Women Radio WFM 91.7, Nigeria's first radio station for women and their families. And this is the program, The Big Question. This is 18 minutes past 12. My name is Rose Yusuf Kaiser, and I'm with Ibukun Adeshida, gender advocate and a writer too. And we're looking at the prevailing culture of abuse against women and girls in Nigeria. Now, to be a part of the program, you can dial 07000 917 917, send a text or a WhatsApp message to 070 317 56537. You can also log on to our website www.wfm917.com to listen live to any of our programs. All right, so let's head on, Ibukun. What do you think? It could just be an issue of parental guidance, because you took it down to, primary school, how you get to raise a child. Now, do you think that the parental structure right now that we have, it's not, as binding as what we used to have, that we have so many cases of abuse right now? Although I know that back then we used to have cases of abuse, but maybe it is because the light was not actually shining in that particular direction. But now we have lots of people who are coming out to say things. So do you think that this could actually be a product of bad parenting in some kind of way, starting off from there?
You said something about parental structure. Do we have that? I know I have an article about my fear for posterity. I know I pulled out a couple of things that I saw or I see going wrong, at the time, that I saw going wrong, which have worsened. And I remember writing that I fear for posterity. I fear for young girls. I fear for, I plan to raise my kids well, but I fear for the spouses that they will fall in love with and choose to spend the rest of their lives, because I don't know how those ones were raised. A generation failed. That's what I say. You see some parents, even the line that they told their kids, or they allowed that their kids told, you cringe. Have you gone to parties where a child, in the mom's opinion, is not dancing right, and she comes out and she's teaching her how to twerk? And I'm not even telling you bedtime stories. Happened before me. And I thought I was the only one uncomfortable. And my friend turned and looked at me, and we conversed with our eyes. A generation failed. That's the truth. And I don't know, God help us, it's even looking like it's worsening. It's even looking like it's worsening because, we are agreeable to a lot of things that in the generation of our mothers, our fathers, they will find a way to handle it, to fix it.
Yeah.
If you notice, the rate of divorce is higher. It wasn't like that in our days. Mothers, I'm not even suggesting that anybody should be should choose to be subdued and make excuses when that you pinch it. But we need to put in the effort and make our families stronger. It's just one flimsy thing. And I'm not even saying when you know that your life is at risk, you should still stay in a marriage or you should stay in an abusive marriage. But the truth of the matter is that sometimes it's not even at that. These are things that you can have conversations about and have the family unit intact. You can't take it away. You cannot take it away. Most children from mostly broken down homes, it takes a long haul on them before they are whole.
Okay. All right.
And even when the home is not broken, but there are lapses, there are loopholes. Parents are not modeling the lifestyle that they want for their children to do. It shows up in the child. It shows up in the child. It's failure from the home front, first and foremost, even from the schools. Then we used to have things like civic education and all of those kind of things. It's not there anymore. It's been eradicated. Children litter, children do all sorts of things.
I just hope
it's
we get
because there's
right.
no guidance. Because when children are guided, they will do better. People act at the level of what they know. If people know better, they will do better. It's pretty much because they don't know better. If this guy now you refer to, if someone had cautioned, there were certain things that he would have said and done, and then if he was cautioned, you shouldn't have gotten to this point where he will come in the glare of millions of people, sit in his lazy chair, feel comfortable in a nice t-shirt, in his opinion, and voice that sort of thing that ideally should be unheard.
Okay.
So it's failing culture. Of passage, are beginning to be weakened. The children just come out and just do what appeals to or tickles their fancy, not giving credence to what the effect on the next person is going to be.
All right, Ibukun, thank you very much for that. Now let's look at the way forward. What can we do? How do we, go forward in terms of abuse against women and girls? Because it's more like every day you get to see new forms of it. Okay, because once upon a time, we're not even talking about social media. We only knew physical, we knew verbal, we knew emotional, but now we're even talking about social media abuse, and only God knows the kind of abuse that we'll be talking about.
What next the conversation will be.
Exactly. So where do we go? How do we go? And, how do we help ourselves?
Well, that's the basics. I'm an ardent believer that communication is where resolution lies. We can't take it down. Knowledge is what the Bible says, my people perish for lack of knowledge. Knowledge is what will get us out of this rut, or out of whatever rut that we're stuck in. That's one. Mothers should talk to their kids, should train them. Fathers should model and talk to children as well. There should be open communication. Something is making a child feel, because some of these cases that you hear about that women were abused, in most cases not the first time.
Yeah.
In most cases it's not the first time. So children should be encouraged not to shrink. They should speak up. They should be able to talk to their parents. Like I give my mom kudos, I give her credence. Whatever it is that you've done on it, that's one person that you can always run back to. So, yes, that's one person that, so it's, she has created that safety. She will scroll, but when she sees that you're at your lowest or you're in a situation that she, first of all, bring you out of it first. Or she shows her
displeasure or hurt on it.
So it creates a very safe environment. It helps your confidence as a child. Like there's nothing that you're faced with that cannot be handled. So parents should create that sort of environment. Teachers too are a very forceful agent of change. Teachers, especially at the elementary stages, if you notice, children would, dear their teachers, even the ones that don't flog or don't do have a serious reinforcement on them. There's just that thing about the teacher that the child adores.
Yeah, sure.
My
teacher said.
Yes. Teachers should create that environment. We have to rejig our educational curriculum, especially at the elementary level. We will not, this cannot be overflogged. We're using stale methods abroad, in schools abroad. People now study human beings as courses. There was a time in a particular school, Brimo the singer, his form of music was being studied. There's another lady, I'm sure you know her. She has a media business in Lagos. She's in and out of Nigeria. She only lectures for studying her business pattern as courses in schools. Not that this one it's just the same thing. If you even look at textbooks of primary schools, you weep. The grammar, you are wondering, is it a carpenter that wrote this? What exactly are they trying to teach the children? The grammar is awful, it's terrible, So we have to see what our environment has become and scrutinize our educational curriculum and fix it, rejig it to be able to prepare children, for what is going on contemporary and what it will likely take in the future.
Yeah.
And in Nigeria, we're very religious people. I think our religious institutions as well should do better.
Okay.
We just go to church and you're telling us about faith, and I am an ardent lover of Jesus. I'm not in any way undermining the place of all of that. But we are humans. We have a vertical relationship, a horizontal relationship. Sometimes sermons should revolve around how you interact with people, day-to-day, relatable things that people can, understand easily, can relate with, and can get better by. And of course, our dear government of Nigeria. I've always said it that the health system is in a state of comatose. The drag alone is so stomach turning. When justice is delayed, justice is denied. I know they say justice delayed is not denied. I don't particularly subscribe to that. And for this kind of extreme cases, in every state, at every level, I don't even know what the local governments in Nigeria do. There should be strict punishment, straight and quick punishment for all them pedophiles, all those kind of, gross cases of injustice. I think.
Okay.
And then the media too. It's good that you are doing this. Kudos, keep it up. Something that should be routine now. Let us hear it over and over and over and over.
Yeah. Okay.
So that we can get better thereby.
All right. Thank you so much, Ibukun, for joining this conversation and being a part of the big question. Really do appreciate having you on the program today.
You're welcome. My utter pleasure.
All right. Do have a great day ahead, and hopefully we do better as a society. All right, thank you so much. We're talking about the prevailing culture of abuse against women and girls. What they say, that an abuser is somebody's son. He was born somewhere, he was raised somewhere. He or she did not become, an abuser just like that. He must have started somewhere. So I hope that we do better in raising our kids. I hope that we do better in correcting them. All right, I hope that we do better as individuals, because at the end of the day, they look up to us. So whatever we tend to do is what they actually reciprocate in one way or the other. All right, so a very big thank you to our guest for today, Ibukun Adeshida, a gender advocate and a writer, a beautiful writer at that. All right, so that's it on the big question today. Join us again on Friday at 12:05 p.m. for the big question. My name is Rose Yusuf Kaiser. A very big thank you to the producer of the program, Chinyere Timothy Crown, and the executive producer, Tomo Ukiwali Shonaya. Good afternoon.
WFM 91.7.